Our selection today is Steal Away.
Sound within my soul. to stay here, long to stay here. I ain't got long to stay here. Ain't got long to stay here. Long to stay here. Long to stay here.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As of Elohim, if any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all, but rather giving of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Now, of course, we know in a few days, most of our loved ones are about to celebrate a false holiday, a false birthday. And many of them have asked you questions as to why you are not going to celebrate this false birthday that they have conjured up to worship the pagan gods of the Euro Gentiles. And a lot of people are not really dealing with what Yahshua is bringing forth while they're partying and having a good time. Yahshua has already come one time in the capacity of a lamb to be slaughtered, to have Israel put in the right place. The next time Yahshua appears, it is going to be absolute and utter chaos, because he's coming for judgment. So while everybody is partying and passing off gifts, he's coming for blood. And sometimes I think we, as believing Hebrew Israelites, I think we forget that too. Because we get caught up in the shindiggery of things. We want to hang out. We want to have a good time. We keep forgetting that the next time you see Yahshua, he's not asking you any questions. He's not going to be trying to figure out where you supposed to be standing. If you ain't figuring that out now, you're going to have a problem. He's already come in the spirit of meekness. I mean, they slapped him, they spit on him, they did all of those things, and he uttered not a word. This time he talking. It says swords are going to proceed out of his mouth. So he let everybody else talk first. See, the best man talk last. Best man don't talk first. He let everybody else talk. He let them say whatever they're going to say. He let them do whatever they're going to do. He let them attempt to implement everything that they want to implement. That way he can tell where everybody hard at. That way he can tell who is really down with him and who's not. Then afterwards, he start talking. And there's no rebuttal once Yahshua start talking. There's no opportunity for you to change your stance once he start talking. Anything you want to say, anything you want to do, you need to be getting to it. Because it ain't going to be changing that once he get here. But let's begin today's sermon in Luke chapter 1 and verse 5. The lyrics in the song started talking about the trumpets. You have all of these people who are about to keep this false holiday and have no idea about what the trumpet of Yahweh is even about. They have no idea that call from that trumpet is signaling some things and getting some things started. It is causing Israel to move. But if you're still in the part of having a good time and passing out gifts, you won't even notice that a trumpet has been blown. Go ahead, brother.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zechariah, of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. They were both righteous before Elohim, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Adonai blameless. And they had no child, because that Elizabeth was barren, and they both were now well stricken in years.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before Elohim in the order of his course, according to the custom of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Adonai.
Right. He was well stricken in years. They both were walking in righteousness. They both were in the lineage of the sons and daughters of Aaron. Yet they had no child, but he is continually serving. See, a lot of people can't serve if they don't get what it is they want. A lot of people can serve as long as they're receiving what they want when they want. They have been without child for a very long time, yet he is still serving in the priest's office. And the priesthood goes by lineage at this time. It goes through the bloodline of the father. So it is expected that a priest is going to have children to pass down the priesthood. So I think sometimes we read this and we say, okay, well, he's, his wife was barren. You got to understand how strong that was. He's supposed to have a little baby priest. But he don't have one. But he hadn't stopped serving them. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the whole multitude of the people were praying without at the time of incense. And there appeared unto him an angel of the Adonai standing on the right side of the altar of incense. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. But the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for your prayer is heard, and your wife Elizabeth shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Johanan. And you shall have joy and gladness, and many shall rejoice at his birth.
Now they're well stricken in years, but now his prayer has been heard. this prayer was prayed a very long time ago. You don't find a whole lot of 65, 70-year-old people talking about something. I pray I'm going to get pregnant next month. That's not a normal prayer for old people. This is an old prayer right here. Do you lose belief if Yahweh don't answer your prayer fast enough? Maybe he pausing because of you. Go ahead.
For he shall be great in the sight of the Adonai, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink, and he shall be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb. And many of the children of Israel shall he turn to the Adonai their Elohim, and he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Adonai. And Zechariah said unto the angel, Whereby shall I know this? For I am an old man, and my wife well stricken in years.
Right. So it's actually makes sense why there would be a little question in his heart that how do I know that this is going to come to pass? I mean, first of all, you know, you're coming to me about a prayer that I probably prayed 20 years ago. I don't even remember all the things of that prayer. So, of course, there's a little bit of question there. I turn that on, brother. Don't turn that back off. It's hot in here, man.
Oh, no, yeah, that's
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, I'm wondering.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure it don't get any hotter.
All right, go ahead. Y'all know this thing got two selections, Antarctica and hell. So you pick one. Bring a coat and a tank top. I don't know which one you gonna need. Go ahead.
Verse 19, Luke chapter 1 and verse 19. And the angel answering said unto him, I am Gabriel, that stand in the presence of Elohim, and I am sent to speak unto you, and to show you these glad tidings. And, behold, you shall be dumb and not be able to speak, until the day that these things shall be performed.
Right. You see how Yahweh and the angels deal with things? Yahweh was telling Moshe, I'm going to send an angel to lead you in the way, but do not provoke him. Okay? I want you to see how easy it is to provoke the angel, because everybody think they dealing directly with Yahweh. Everybody always think they dealing with Yahweh. I talked to God last night. You ain't dealing with Yahweh. So please get that out your head. He has servants, and you're going to deal with servants of servants of servants. You ain't dealing directly with him. So here is the angel sent to come, and he asked the angel a question. And now he can't talk no more until the whole deal is finished. That's how easy it is to provoke an angel. Now sit down and consider what it is we do. How many times have you possibly provoked an angel and he just, because you don't see him. How many times we might have done something to provoke an angel? He'd be like, you know what, Eli, I'm going to let that slide. I'm going to let that slide. I'm going to let you go ahead and walk home, because if that, you're going to miss you. How many times we might have done something and we have no idea? All he did was ask a question, and it was provoking the angel. Moshe was warned, don't provoke him. You need to read a little bit so you find out how other people provoked an angel, so you will learn, you know what, I ain't gonna do that. See, a lot of y'all don't think that's a problem, that this man may not be able to talk for 3 months. Because y'all say, well, I'll just text then. He ain't got no phone. He can't text nobody. When he can't talk, he can't talk. It's over. He got to write down everything. You know how long it takes to write down one sentence? Do you have any idea how long that takes? See, some of y'all didn't ever get those punishments. See, we got those in school. When you did something stupid and you said some bad word after they washed out your mouth with soap, then you had to write, I will not say bad things 100 times. Your whole hand would be on fire from writing over and over and over. If we had to write down everything we said, we wouldn't say a lot. We'll be in the middle of something. Hey, look, I'm going, you know what? Never mind. I ain't gonna even, don't even worry about it. I can't, I'm not even gonna write all that, man. Just, I'll see you when I see you. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And behold, you shall be dumb and not able to speak until the day that these things shall be performed, because you believe not my words, which shall be fulfilled in their season.
Because you believe not my words was enough to provoke the angel. He said, man, I stand in the presence of Elohim. Who are you to question me? And we'll question the wrong people like it ain't nothing. The people who we should question, we don't say a thing. But the ones who we should keep our mouth closed, those the ones we question. Those the ones that we got idle chatter about. I bet he wish he wouldn't have said that. Learn from their mistake. Remember, the book says, be careful, for some of you have entertained angels unawares. So what if you unaware entertained an angel and then provoked him because you didn't know who he was? Do you get a pass because you didn't know who he was? Do Yahweh say that's okay? Because you didn't know. Does he give you a pass? Go ahead.
And the people waited for Zacharias, and marveled that he tarried so long in the temple. And when he came out, he could not speak unto them. And they perceived that he had seen a vision in the temple, for he beckoned unto them, and remained speechless. And it came to pass that, as soon as the days of his ministration were accomplished, he departed to his own house. And after those days his wife Elizabeth conceived, and hid herself 5 months.
She hid herself 5 months. Sometimes when there's a blessing going on inside of you, understand that this is a marvelous blessing for this old woman to pop up pregnant, okay? But you know, sometimes you got to get some things right in your own head before you go around other people. Because I'm going to tell you something about Israel. We straight dream killers. You show us your dream in its infancy and we will abort it. You got to get your dream right in your own head before you start letting it come out of your mouth to other people, because they'll start killing your dream, telling you why you can't do this. You know, the economy bad. I wouldn't even try to do that. You gonna spend that much money on that? You gonna go under. Yeah. But then you talk to them next month and they just made a $25,000 purchase. Wait a minute. The economy was just as bad as it was when I was considering starting my business. But I noticed it didn't stop you from starting yours. Right. They'll kill your dream, not theirs. So sometimes it might be necessary to hide yourself from the prying eyes of Israel while you get your own head right. This wasn't nothing for her to be ashamed about. This is a blessing. But you still got to go amongst Jake. Go ahead.
Saying, thus has the Adonai dealt with me in the days wherein he looked on me, to take away my reproach among men.
Right. Take away my reproach, not give me reproach. Her reproach is taken away. She actually got something to go amongst people and brag about. But she had to get her head right first. Let's go to Malachi chapter 4. So in part of this, as we start looking at Yahweh bringing forth these things about Yahshua, he is preparing for Yahshua. So he has these people who are going to produce a child, and this child is the only person on the earth who is going to be qualified to baptize Yahshua. Now keep in mind, we got a humongous temple. We got all these buildings. We got all of these things. Yet this shall be the only man qualified to baptize Yahshua. Now you have to sit there and ask yourself some questions at that point. You mean tell me there wasn't anybody in the temple? Man, they got high priests in the temple. They got a rotation of priests. As you read, as we just read, he did his service. As his service ended, he went back to his house. So you got a rotation of priests. But nobody in there is qualified to baptize Yahshua. Man, you at some point you have to sit down and rattle your brain on some of this. Why he had to go find somebody to baptize Yahshua? How many problems would he have had if he went directly in the priesthood? So what he did was got Yohanan, a son of the priesthood. So his lineage is priesthood. Okay? Because his father was in the temple to burn incense. But he catches him before he gets caught up in their clique. People don't really understand the power of that. So he got the right bloodline to do it. But he's got to catch him before they get a hold of his mind. Think about how the situation went with Nicodemus. Nicodemus was a Pharisee. He's of the priesthood. He's of the in crowd. What does he do? He sneaks to come and see Yahshua. He got to come at night. And ain't no street lights. So he waiting till it's real dark. And then he sneak over there. Tell me some more. Why you always coming over in the dark, man? You ashamed of me? Right. Malachi chapter 4, and let's start that at verse 1.
For behold, the day comes that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that comes shall burn them up, says Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Now, this is the last thing that people are about to think about in the next couple of days. They about to feel so good and merry. Last thing they thinking about is getting set on fire in judgment. They're about to have a really good time. Go ahead.
But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and you shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall.
Mm-hmm.
And you shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, says Yahweh of hosts. Remember you the law of Moshe my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yah.
Right. So then you have to look at some of this and think about how confusing it is if you don't consider the duality of prophecy. Because Elijah has been passed. So now they're like, okay, so is Elijah going to be resurrected so that he could come before Christ again? Understand who Elijah is and that he was called up. So Elijah's been gone. So they have to then try to process this in their mind as they're reading that he's going to bring Elijah the prophet before the great and dreadful day of Yahweh. So you have to think about how much fear then these people must have had as some of these prophets were coming amongst the children of Israel. When they would see one of the prophets, they would automatically be afraid. They wanted to know, why are you here? It is not that way at all today. If somebody said the prophet has shown up, people start clapping and singing. Oh, the master prophet has come. They think it's a game. People in Israel who knew what the deal was, when they saw a prophet, they start shaking in their boots. Why are you here, man? Because if he pronounced judgment against that city, everybody finna get dealt with. Go ahead.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
So then he's going to do some things that's going to put some things in order. So you have to then consider, Yahweh then pulls this man, Yohanan, and has him move in the spirit of Elijah. Let's go to Yohanan, John, chapter 1. You know, the irony about all of this, all of these things that are written about Christ, the whole time I kept Christmas, I didn't know any of this. You realize that these people are about to have Christmas dinner and they don't know anything about Christ? But everybody gonna be happy. Ignorant bliss. I know it because I was in it. Celebrating things I did not understand. I didn't understand any of this stuff that we're reading. Yohanan chapter 1, and let's start that at verse 19.
And this is the record of Yohanan, when the Yehudis sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, "I am not the Mashiach." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elias?" And he says, "I am not."
You see, they because they search the scriptures, they say, okay, Elias must come before the Mashiach. So they started asking him questions. They want to know, hey man, explain to us who you are. Why do you do what you do? Go ahead.
"Are you that prophet?" And he answered, "No." Then said they unto him, "Who are you? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What saith you of yourself?"
Understand, he has a lot more respect from the priesthood because his father is a priest. So they already know that he's in the priesthood. He has more respect at this time than Yahshua does. He has right to do certain things in the priesthood. So they're actually afraid to go at Yohanan like that. They go and they watch him. And they know who his dad is. They know who his mama is. So they automatically like, hey, this is one of us. See, one thing you'll find about Israel, we have cliques inside of cliques. See, we got inner cliques, we got outer cliques. See, you got first the body of Israel. See, then you got the various tribal breakdown in between that. So first, you know, we all Israel until we break off into our tribal cliques, and then we like, I'm Judah. Well, I'm Naphtali, brother. So now we against each other in that. So then we got Judah. Well, then you got the house of David. So now even inside Judah, there's another division of David inside of that. So we got the house of David, you got Judah, then the whole house of Israel. And we still do the same thing right now without knowing anything of what tribes we in. We have cliques inside of cliques inside of cliques. But y'all, we're going to take care of that clique business. Go ahead.
Judah gets complicated because you got the house of Judah, and then you got the tribe Judah, and then you got
the
house of David.
Because of the split part of the kingdom. Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. Southern kingdom, northern kingdom. Right. Bunch of cliques. And we still operate the same way.
You know, I got to be mad at you because my clique mad at you. You know, really, I like you. But I can't like you per se. Because, see, my clique don't like you, so I have to not like you because of the inner clique. Not the main clique, I mean the inner clique.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 23. He said, "I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness. Make straight the way of the Adonai, as said the prophet Esaias. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. And they asked him, and said unto him, Why baptize you then, if you be not that Mashiach?"
Hold on. So then the Pharisees, the ones in the law, automatically expected who was coming was going to do baptism. Where are they getting this from? Out of the book. Yet the first thing you do when you run into one of these Old Testament brothers, man, ain't no way nobody gonna baptize me in no dirty water. What? These Old Testament brothers, first thing they say, okay, if you baptize, you must be him. Where they get it from? The book. They was automatically looking for a Messiah. Moshe had told them in the beginning, Yahweh shall raise up a prophet like unto me, one out of your brethren. Him you better hear. So we knew from day one, there's going to be somebody that we might want to listen to, because when he come, it's going to be interesting. But they were ready that when he showed up, that he would automatically bring judgment to the Gentiles and that they would all rule at that point. That's not the way that happened. Just like prophecy happens in a duality, even this prophecy and dealing with it, it's duality even with him. So he comes on one form to set the children of Israel right as the lamb. He comes later as the lion. Lion don't turn back for nobody. So you can, forget that loving hug me Yahshua moment that we got in our head. Don't nobody run up on no lion. The only reason we get close to a lion because it's in a cage. You take that cage away, let me see you walk up to that lion. I don't care if he look nice. I'm not walking up on him. That's not going to happen. Folks always telling people, my dog don't bite. Your dog don't bite you. I get to the door, the dog slobbering. Come on in, just pet him. I'm not petting that beast, okay? You finna put that beast up somewhere. You gonna chain it to a tree. You can throw it in the attic for all I care. But you gonna put that beast somewhere. It don't bite. Ma'am, let me show you something. You see those canines in there? Those are teeth. They are made pointy for a reason. They sink into flesh. Put that thing up. Go ahead, bro.
25. And they asked him and said unto him, Why baptize you then, if you be not that Mashiach, nor Elias, neither that prophet? Yohanan answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there stands one among you whom you know not. He it is, who coming after me is preferred before me, whose shoes latchet I am not worthy to unloose. These things were done in Beth Arbara, beyond Jordan, where Yohanan was baptizing.
Right. So he automatically understood that there is a level to his servitude that he can go up to a certain point. See, this is, you have to see the beauty and why Yahweh chose certain people. Because he understands that there's a boundary that he cannot pass. Why is that so beautiful in Israel? Because Israel, we like Rick James. We are habitual line crossers. So when you can find somebody that know where the line is and are not going to cross that line, that, my friend, is a good servant. No matter what accolades they got. Understand, Yohanan has his own disciples. People kind of forget that he has his own disciples. He has people following him. They don't even know who Yahshua is. He's got people following him. And he willingly lets all of it go when Yahshua enters the scenario. Will you finish that, brother?
Yes.
Let's go to Matthew chapter 17. Matthew chapter 17. And let's read verses 9 through 13.
Verse 9. And as they came down from the mountain, Yahshua charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead.
And that's like telling Israel to hold fire in their mouth and don't drink water, right? Don't tell nobody until I come back. I promise I ain't gonna tell nobody else. Promise. I promise. I'm your man, 50 grand. I swear for God. I swear. Go ahead.
And his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come?
So now there's a question in the word. The word must be wrong or you wrong because if you are here, then there was supposed to be somebody before you. This is where we limit the word to our own understanding. So if we don't understand it, something must not be right. Maybe something wrong with your understanding. Say, no. The scribes say that Elias must first come. So you can't be him because we ain't seen no Elias. Go ahead.
And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not.
Right. When he come? Where? When? We ain't seen it. We walk around asking people. We would go, you Elias? You Elias? You Elias? We was asking the little puppies and dogs, come here, you Elias? We asked everybody, you Elias? Nobody agreed that they was Elias. So you cannot be him, according to the book. Now get on out of here. Read.
But have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spoke unto them of Johannes the Baptist.
Right. The very one who, when they asked him, are you Elias? He said no. So if he didn't understand who he was in the spirit, yet he was chosen from the womb, but he was still on a need to know basis, what make us think we know everything? This man was chosen from the womb. His mama and daddy was chosen. He is the son of the chosen. Yeah, Yahweh didn't tell him exactly what it was he was doing. How we think we know? He don't even know what's going on all of in his own life. Not only do we think we know what's going on in our life, we think we know what's going on in somebody else's life too.
Yeah, I know why that happened to you. Yeah. It's because you ate that popcorn, you know what I'm saying, late at night. That's why that happened to you.
Man, come on, man. He don't even know. He don't know. Yahweh didn't share that part with him. Sometimes that's the best position that you could be in, to not know. Because when we know something, we have a tendency to alter our effort.
Oh, you mean this ain't gonna last forever? Ain't no need to me putting my effort in this then.
Let somebody find out that, oh, this person right here gonna pass away and this relationship ain't gonna last. Next thing you know, they treating the person bad before they even pass. Baby, you give me some chicken?
For what? You gonna die anyway?
What? Go ahead, bro.
That was that.
That was it?
13.
Yeah. Let's go to back to Luke chapter 1, and we're gonna start that at 26 is where we left off. So Luke chapter 1, and we're gonna start where we left off at verse 26.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 26. And in the sixth month the angel Gabriel was sent from Elohim unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth.
Okay, Gabriel. Now, wasn't that the same one that went to the brother and made him dumb? See, so note to self. Leave him alone. Okay? Note to self. Be careful what questions come out of your mouth. But see, somebody in the priesthood has a higher responsibility than someone who's not. Go ahead.
To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Yosef, of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Miriam.
Right, and you find many problems have a problem with this word virgin. They don't like that word right there. They said, well, you know, it had to be a regular woman, and they had to, you know, come through a union of a man and a woman being together, because that's the only way that you can make a baby. It's amazing that we believe that Yahweh could create an entire universe, but he can't make a baby without two people coming together. It is utterly amazing that we limit Yahweh like that. All the time saying we believe now. See, this is how that disbelief is sprinkled all in our walk. And we just find a reason for the disbelief. It's disbelief all in there. And we still wonder why we have not accomplished or have not received from Yahweh. Because our walk is riddled with disbelief. Go ahead.
And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, you that are highly favored, the Adonai is with you. Blessed are you among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Miriam, for you have found favor with Elohim. And behold, you shall conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahshua.
Mm-hmm.
He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Adonai Elohim shall give unto him the throne of his father Dawid. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end.
Now, when you listen to these words, then you have to deal with the natural part of that and the spiritual part of that. Because if you take this right now at this point, it looks like Yahshua is never going to die. Yet he's got to come in a whole nother capacity before the rest of that is fulfilled. All of that is not going to be fulfilled at the same time. This is why they asked him, have you come at this time to restore the kingdom unto Israel? He says, not for you to know the times and the seasons which the Father has reserved unto himself. In other words, you on a need to know basis. Go ahead.
Then said Miriam unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man?
Right. So when everybody try to say they use the wrong word right there for virgin, they use the wrong. She said, I know not a man. Tell me how those words was wrong. I know not a man. Go ahead.
And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Spirit shall come upon you, and the power of the highest shall overshadow you. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of you shall be called the Son of Elohim.
That holy thing which shall be born of you. Understand, every other man and woman that was born, it says we was born under sin. What she about to give birth to, it says, oh, that holy thing which shall proceed from out of you. Oh, that's going to be different than everything else. Go ahead.
And behold, your cousin Elizabeth, she has also conceived a son in her old age.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the 6th month with her.
This is the 6th month with her. All right. And verse 26, it says that in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from Elohim unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth. All right. So in doing our Christian count, we're gonna count this from our Gregorian calendar. What's the 6th month in the calendar? What's that, June?
June.
All right. So we're gonna say June, July. How many months take to have a baby? 9. Somebody said 10. Golly, they got some elephant babies in it.
I think that person is counting the time
Yeah.
of the womb.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do 10 then. Okay. All right. Look at him. Look, I don't care which one you got. It don't matter. It don't matter. All right. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 9. All right. So don't add up on their calendar. Now let's move to ours. The 6th month of the Hebrew month is what? Don't say nothing. Is what? August. Oh, yo, being punished later. Every last one of you being punished. No, it's in between August and September. See, y'all gotta learn how to answer trick questions. Okay? Understand something. Our months are never going to be in the beginning. There's a reason why we say March/April. Okay? February/March, because our months do not end at the same time that theirs do. So the answer to that is August/September. What does that mean? That means toward the end of August or the beginning of September. September/October means toward the ending of September as it begins to be the beginning of October. All right? So the beginning of ours is going to be the end of March, between March 25th and April. All right? So that's going to be the first of our, that's what Abib is, green ear. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Where we at? I'm counting wrong.
Yeah, you was trying.
I'm starting wrong. Y'all done messed me up now.
You're supposed to be at the 6 months.
Supposed to be at the 6 month.
Yeah.
So we at what the 6?
August, September.
August. All right. So August, September. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So we still got right around in this area of Passover in the harvest time, where, and that could be give or take, because we could go, June or right in the part before that, when we're counting this date. So either way you deal with this, whether it's the Gregorian calendar or whether it's the Hebrew calendar, it is never going to add up to be December. And anytime we ever ask that, going to the church, that's how easy that is. To start from the 6 month and count 9. That's all we got to do. How is it nobody ever answered that question? And we can answer that question both ways. How is it that we've gone to places for decades and none of them ever answer that question? So it's not possible for it to even add up at all. So it's something else going on there. It has absolutely nothing to do with Christ. But do we allow people to make us feel guilty when they invite us to their Christmas dinner and then we don't go? Do you feel bad when they invite you?
Well, all my family gonna be there.
Oh yeah, sometimes they'll put the family members on the phone.
Call Johnny. Tell him you here from out of town and you want to see him. Yeah, I know. He got some kind of Hebrew name now. Yaakov or something. I don't know.
Right. Are you prepared for that? Or are you going to cave? Because your family over there. Go ahead, bro.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 37. For with Elohim nothing shall be impossible. And Miriam said, Behold, the handmaid of the Adonai, be it unto me according to your word. And the angel departed from her. And Miriam arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste, and into a city of Judea, and entered into the house of Zacharias, and saluted Elizabeth. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Miriam, the babe leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit.
And this is why they think that jumping up and down is the Holy Ghost. So I called the Holy Ghost. Whoa! And they start taking off running. Whoa! They said that's how you see the babe leaped. See? So that's why they just jump over the pews or whatever, and they swear they got the Holy Spirit. They don't really understand what's going on right here. He said, man, my purpose for being born is near me. This is what I was born for. I was born to baptize what is going to come out of that woman. My purpose is near me. I am excited. Go ahead.
And she spake out with a loud voice, and said, Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. And whence is this to me, that the mother of my Adonai should come to me? For lo, as soon as the voice of your salutation sounded in my ears, the babe leapt in my womb for joy.
Now, you're gonna when you get right down to it, some of this starts to get confusing because this is their cousins, right? They know each other, right? Yet you get further down and then the kids don't know each other. Understand, one of them got to go. They got to run up out of there. He got to go here, there, and yonder. Yahweh already made the connection that he need to make. So when they meet back up, they have already been joined in heart and in spirit. They ain't got to grow up to each other. They ain't got to walk to Jerusalem high together. They already connected. See, this is where the spirit overrides natural clicks. See, we think we got to hang out with somebody. No. That connection already there. They ain't never got to see each other again until that day. That's him. How you know? I feel it. I felt this before as a baby. That's him. Go ahead.
And blessed is she that believed, for there shall be a performance of those things which were told her from the Adonai. And Miriam said, my soul does magnify the Adonai, and my spirit hath rejoiced in Elohim, my Savior, for he has regarded the low estate of his handmaiden. For, behold, from henceforth all generations shall call him blessed.
Call me blessed.
Call me blessed, pardon me. For he that is mighty has done to me great things, and holy is his name.
Now, you notice Miriam asked the angel, the same one that made the other one dumb and couldn't talk. She asked questions. You notice he didn't strike her with dumbness. Therein lies the difference between the man and the woman. He allowed the woman to ask questions. The man, he struck him with dumbness for asking the question. Right. Read, bro.
And his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation.
Because he expected him to know. That was his job. Go ahead.
He has showed strength with his arm. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. He has put down the mighty from their seats, and exalted them of low degree. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he hath sent empty away. He has holpen his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy. As he spake to our fathers, to Abraham, and to his seed forever. And Miriam abode with her about 3 months and returned to her own house.
All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 7. Isaiah chapter 7, and we're going to read verses 10 through 25.
Verse 10. Moreover, Yahweh spake again unto Ahaz, saying, Ask you a sign of Yahweh your Elohim. Ask it either in the depth or in the height above. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, neither will I tempt Yahweh. And he said, Hear you now, O house of David. Is it a small thing for you to weary men, but will you weary my Elohim also? Therefore the Adonai himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive, and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse the evil, and choose the good. For before the child shall know to refuse the evil, and choose the good, the land that you abhorreth shall be forsaken of both her kings.
Right, and because Israel is stuck on the natural part of things, you will find so many teachers who will go through all of these things in the New Testament and say, see, I can show you where this has happened. This has nothing to do with the Messiah. They don't know about the duality of prophecy, because there's going to be some other things said that they cannot show in that Old Testament. Go ahead.
Yahweh shall bring upon you and upon your people and upon your father's house days that have not come, from the day that Ephraim departed from Yehudah, even the king of Assyria. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And they shall come and shall rest all of them in the desolate valleys and in the holes of the rocks, and upon all thorns and upon all bushes. In the same day shall the Adonai shave with a razor that is hired, namely, by them beyond the river, by the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it shall also consume the beard.
Right, and you cut Jake's beard off, and Jake get hot. You know what I'm saying? Once we understand some things, we understand what a man supposed to look like. When I was a little boy, I didn't know anything about the word. My mama told me a man was supposed to have hair on his face. I didn't really understand what any of that meant. Then I started to notice and watch some things. It was a long time after that before I got in the word. And it says Aaron's beard went down to his skirt. Do you know how long his beard was? That's like almost down to his ankles. And the first thing they say, you think about it. What happens when we as black men are bearded and we, if that beard is too big, first thing the Euro Gentiles,
That brother looks scary. He's frightening.
right. Right. They were scared of Yahshua. They would be scared of Moshe. They would be scared of Aaron. You just didn't scared of righteousness then. Because this is what they're supposed to look like. So then, here it is. Yahweh not only gave us a law, but he made our body follow the law. We try to cut our beard and we get ingrown hairs. Nobody else gets those on the face of this planet. You realize Africans can shave every day for 40 years straight and never have a hair bump? You realize that Gentiles can shave every day and never have a hair bump? We shave and we somewhere in the corner scratching with our foot like a puppy. We're like, what is wrong with him? This whole thing is red. You ever seen a black dude turn red? I mean, dude, blue black, just black, just black, just black. Except this part he's scratching is fire red. Whole skin irritated. Why? Because you just went against Yahweh's law. He told you not to mar the corners of your beard. So what he gave you along with that law was a little bit of judgment inside your body. So when you do it, your body gonna revolt against you. So then we figure out ways to get around the law. All right. So then we go to the barber shop and we tell them, all right, dude say, man, I'm gonna make this beard. I'm gonna cut it off. You know, make it look okay. Well, look here. All right. So cut with the clippers on this side, and then you can do the razor up to this part, but don't take the razor down here, okay? Because it'll bump real bad down here. All right. So go around over here. Now we got an equation for unrighteousness. That's what we figured out, and then that didn't work. So we went and got that nasty magic shave.
Just put that chemical on my face and just scare the hell out of all the hair. And it'll just run right off my face. This stuff smells like death. It is horrible. Why do we have to do it? So that we can go around Yahweh's law. Nobody else has that problem. Nobody else. How is it other people can shave every day for 50 years straight? Never get a bump. Never. They had to make special health requirements for military black men. Because in the military, they'll tell you in a minute, what's that dirt on your lip, boy? That dirt on your, is that dirt, boy? Is that dirt? They want you to shave that off. Kept going to them black men, they kept bumping up this, hey, look here, man, this ain't gonna work. They gave them medical waivers.
They gave them medical waivers saying, look, they not made like us. They cannot keep shaving. And us, we don't know what it's about. It's about Yahweh's law. He told you not to do it. And your body keep testifying against you. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that a man shall nourish a young cow and 2 sheep. And it shall come to pass for the abundance of milk that they shall give he shall eat butter. For butter and honey shall everyone eat that is left in the land. And it shall come to pass in that day that every place shall be, where there were 1,000 vines at 1,000 silverlings, it shall even be for briars and thorns. With arrows and with bows shall men come thither, because all the land shall become briars and thorns. And on all hills that shall be digged with the mattock, there shall not come thither the fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending forth of oxen and for the treading of lesser cattle.
All right, let's go to chapter 9, Isaiah chapter 9. And we want to read verses 6 and 7.
Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
Now, when you start talking about government, now you start talking about law. You can't have a government without a law to govern yourself by. But everybody that's finna get ready to so-called celebrate this false birthday, the last thing they want to hear is law. This whole thing is about a government that reeks of law and reeks of judgment. Say to throw somebody off if you just walked up and said mirror judgment.
What are you talking about?
Mirror judgment, my brother. Mirror judgment. Go ahead.
And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty El, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end.
Of the increase of his government. Once again, government. We still talking about rulership and law. And it is the thing that we have the biggest problem with. Following instructions. It is the very thing that got us kicked out of the garden. And we act like we had a whole bunch of rules. Wasn't a whole bunch of rules. Don't eat from that tree. How many rules was that? So now people tell you, well, we don't want to deal with that law because it's just so intrusive. See, because there's 613 laws, statutes, and judgments in that book. That's just too many. We couldn't follow one. So stop acting like it's like for the multitude of laws that we just can't follow. You couldn't follow one. Don't eat from the tree. Go ahead, bro.
Upon the throne of David, upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever.
The prophecy is about justice and judgment. Can't have that without law. Go ahead.
For the zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this.
All right, now let's go to Zechariah chapter 6. Eli. Zechariah chapter 6. And let's read verses 9 through 15.
And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Take of them of the captivity, even of Heldiah, of Tobiah, and of Yediah, which are come from Babylon, and come you the same day, and go into the house of Uzziah, the son of Zephaniah. Then take silver and gold, and make crowns, and set them upon the head of Yahshua, the son of Jozadak, the high priest.
Right. So take silver and gold and make crowns and set them up upon the head of Yahshua, the son of Jozadak. And understand, there's a reason why the very next man after Moshe was given the name Yahshua. See, Yahweh put some things in order for a reason. Now, as he's giving this prophecy, he's going again, and he's saying, do this unto this man named Yahshua. And people say, well, the Messiah, has many names. Yet when we read this book, it says there's one name under heaven by which we must be saved. It says his name shall be called. Go ahead.
And speak unto them, saying, Thus speaketh Yahweh of hosts, saying, Behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of Yah. Even he shall build the temple of Yah, and he shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule upon his throne.
Right. And as we're getting into the spiritual part of that, we understand that physically, Yahshua did not build a physical temple. The temple that it is prophesying about was his body. That's why he said, knock this temple down, and in 3 days I'll rebuild it. They, of course, were still on the natural part of it. They said it took 46 years for this temple to be built. And you going to build it again in 3 days? Because naturally they on one thing. Spiritually, he's talking about something altogether different. And Yahshua had a tendency to talk over people's head. And then he'd let them get angry. On purpose. Just so he can prove what was in their heart to them. He already knew what was in their heart. He was proving to them what was in their heart. It was never a question to him. Go ahead.
And he shall be a priest upon his throne.
He shall be a priest upon his throne. Wait a minute. See, now we're talking about some things altogether different here. Because the priesthood and the kingship are two totally separate entities of government. Priests were Levites. Kings came out of Yehuda. Now we're getting prophecies of a king and a priest ruling at the same time in the same office. Which, if we go back to the beginning, we find that with Melchizedek. He was king and high priest. Yahweh separated that on earth. But now as we start getting down to things, he start putting it back together. Go ahead.
And the counsel of peace shall be between them both. And the crowns shall be to Helm, and to Tobiah, and to Yediah, and to Hen, the son of Zephaniah, for a memorial in the temple of Yah. And they that are far off shall come and build in the temple of Yahweh, and you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me unto you. And this shall come to pass, if you will diligently obey the voice of Yahweh, your Elohim.
Right, and we always miss that if part. We have a tendency to count it.
Yahweh said it. Yahweh said he was going to give it to us. I heard him.
You missed that if word, though. He said, I'll do all of this. If. Somehow we don't seem to see that part of the contract. Go out here in the world and sign a regular contract with man and miss that word if. And then go back to the bank and try to get some money. Go ahead. They're going to show you how big that if word is.
Okay, so you did this? Well, I mean, no, I didn't. Well, there it is. Get on out of here. We ain't getting you no money. You said word if? If you shall do this. When you buy a house, they tell you you can live in it.
if you pay the mortgage. And if you don't, we gonna come get you. And I've watched people try to fight that foreclosure, man. I watched people fight it for years. And boy, hey, I ain't saying you can't win it, because I've heard of some people who won. But boy, it's an ugly fight. And you can't sleep. You can't sleep. Brother across the street from me was fighting that for 3 years. He was winning that battle. Then they played that little Jedi mind trick and changed that court date. By the time he got the letter, the court date was already that date. Got him. 3 days later, the SWAT team was over there with automatic rifles. All over the place. We didn't see but one truck. And I'm trying to figure out how 20 of them dudes come out of that one truck. That's because they stopped on the other side of the neighborhood, went through one yard, jumped the fence, and they all came from the back. By the time he saw the first car, it was already 20 people surrounding that house. And they brought him out in his underwear on the coldest day of the year. One of the most embarrassing things ever. And it was all linked to that one word in that contract. If. He kept saying, this is my house. If. I've been here over 10, 12 years. If. They got that house. They put everything on the inside, on the outside. Rained all on their stuff. If. You don't get to count all the good things of the covenant if you're not going to do any other things in the covenant. It is amazing that we just count all the good stuff of the covenant, but we're not going to do anything in the covenant. Go ahead, bro.
That was it.
That was it. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. You know, when you read all of these things about Yahshua, and you see how many of these things are written concerning him, you know, you really have to ask yourself, what does the Old Covenant Hebrew, what does he believe in? Who do you put in that spot? Because some will say, yeah, you know, they believe in Yahshua, that, you know, he's just a prophet. But there's a prophet that's supposed to do some things. So who do you place in that spot? Isaiah chapter 11, and let's read verses 1 through 16.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yah.
Right. Then you count all 7 spirits. The Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom, Spirit of understanding, the Spirit of counsel, the Spirit of might, the Spirit of knowledge, and the Spirit of the fear of Yahweh. The Spirit of fear of Yahweh causes you to obey. So you have to wonder, when somebody said they caught the Spirit, your first question needs to be, well, which one did you catch? Now, the next thing that we have to deal with, especially from within ourselves, because we get so excited when we get knowledge because we know something. That's why we just scour the internet and we go from site to site because we want knowledge. Oh, we like knowledge. Oh, we love it. Understand something? There's a spirit of knowledge. Then there's a spirit of fear. You can be the most intelligent, rebellious person on the face of this earth. Spirit of knowledge is one thing, but did you get the spirit of fear? Don't think everybody that's going to the lake of fire is ignorant. It's going to be some of the smartest people you ever seen in that lake of fire. They ain't in there because they did not understand. They in there because they wouldn't do them. Spirit of knowledge don't do you no good if you don't have a spirit of fear. You just know some stuff. That's it. Congratulations. You know something. And it's amazing in the order in which they list these spirits. The spirit of Yahweh, something altogether different. Spirit of wisdom, spirit of understanding, spirit of counsel. That means some people have the spirit to counsel other individuals. So even when you deal with people, are you dealing with somebody who has that spirit? We just want to go to our friends because we know them and we hang out, you know, and they in the inner clique. So we go and ask them questions. Do they have this spirit of counsel? When my car breaks, I don't want to talk to my dentist. He has several degrees. He's a very intelligent man. But he don't know jack about alternator. I'm telling him my car won't start. He telling me, well, let me just numb your molars. What? What the hell is that gonna crank my car? He don't know what he doing. In that aspect, are you dealing with somebody who has the spirit of the thing that you are in need of? If you sick, do you go to the person who has the gift of prophecy or to the person who has the gift of healing? See, some of us so nosy.
Well, I just want to get the prophecy because I want to know if I'm going to be healed.
Jake. Read, bro.
Says chapter 11 and verse 3. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
See, this is what the spirit of wisdom do. You learn how to listen for a while. See, you can hear something for months on end and just sit on it. Because see, if you do things after the hearing of your ears, you hear something, the first thing you hear, boom, you out there talking and running from place to place. No. When you get the spirit of wisdom, you sit on something and somebody come say something to you, say, yeah, I knew that last year. What? When it happened to me, my elder did it to me. I thought I was telling him something one day. Yeah, man, such and such happened. Yeah, I knew. What you mean you knew? He said, yeah, I knew the night it happened. I said, man, that was over a year ago. He said, yeah, I figured you'd come when you was ready. Oh, I learned something that day. Oh, I learned. He looked at me with a straight face for a year straight. Never said a word. I learned a lot that day. Go ahead, brother.
For with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together.
Right. I think, sometimes we look at these things. I was looking at this little documentary on the caldera, this big natural thing that they got right by this humongous volcano, and there's animals everywhere. You kind of forget just how vicious bears are when you read this stuff, we'll go and we understand that a lion ain't in to play with. But, you look at a bear and you think, this big old animal, you can't really move it. And that animal can fly. This animal will catch you. You think you can outrun a bear. It ain't as easy as it look. It is some serious stuff that is in here. And when you deal with having peace among these things, this is where timing comes into play. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb. Let me tell you something. You don't want to be around no wolves right now. Wolves are some of the best hunters in the land, Jack. They hunt as a team like nobody's business. The wolf play with you and make you think you got away. And the whole time, that was his plan, was to make you run right in between those two trees right there. But he'll go far to the left and draw you in. And you swear you're getting away. You just don't know he got 3 buddies over there on the other side. And they all closing in on you. Now, these are hunters. And people want to try to domesticate a hunter. Go ahead.
And the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass. And the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse.
Now, understand, they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh. So the knowledge of Yahweh should bring forth some kind of peace. That's not what you see today. Look at how many people playing battle script on the corner. They know word, and they using the word to fight each other. The knowledge didn't cause no bring forth peace. Go ahead.
Which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Adonai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
Right. Shinar is Babylon. Cush is Ethiopia. Those are the only Israelites that the imposters in Israel will even accept. They will only accept Ethiopian Jews. That's who Cush is. They will not accept any others. But according to this word, those children of Israel are going to come from all of these places. And we know if they coming off from the islands of the sea, who coming from the island? Right. Go ahead.
I just wanted to touch that down in Ethiopia, because we've got our people who say they're Ethiopians. No, we're mixed in with the Ethiopians.
Right. Mixed right in. There's certain places in this book where they confuse us for Egyptians. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Yehudah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Yehudah, and Yehudah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
Right. So then there is this great returning of the children of Israel that is prophesied to take place, and we know that those things have not taking place. Right now, they have situations where they will allow all of the Jewish people to return to Israel, but you have to be Jewish the way they say you're Jewish. Even when they accept the Ethiopian Jews, they have to then come back and convert to their brand of Judaism. They say, you got to be a Jew like we want you to be a Jew. Meanwhile, they're giving them forced sterilization shots so that the black Jews would not multiply. And this is what our people are going to be a part of. Right. You're going back to your land as a captive. Let's go to Yohanan, John chapter 1. And we're going to start that at verse 29.
Yohanan chapter 1 and verse 29. The next day Yohanan sees Yahshua coming on to him, and says, Behold, the Lamb of Elohim, which takes away the sin of the world. This is he of whom I said, After me comes a man which is preferred before me, but he was before me. And I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to Israel. Therefore am I come baptizing with water.
Right. I understand the level of servitude that I'm supposed to have. My job is to make way for him. Go ahead.
And Yohanan bare record, saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and it abode upon him. And I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water, the same said unto me, Upon whom you shall see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, the same is he which baptizeth with the Holy Spirit.
Right. So I know for a fact that this is he because I saw the Spirit descend upon him and stay there. So regardless as to what I thought, felt, and believed, I know for a fact that this is him now. Go ahead.
And I saw and bear record that this is the Son of Elohim. Again the next day after Yohanan stood, and two of his disciples, and looking upon Yahshua.
Okay, hold on. Again, the next day after Yohanan stood, and what?
And two of his disciples.
So Yohanan already got a ministry and a following. But he's ready to give up his stuff at a moment because he understands his job and his purpose. See, when you got somebody who understands their job and their purpose, now you're dealing with a servant. So you have those that serve Yahweh, and then you have those that serve themselves of Yahweh. They'll serve as long as everything works out for them. They'll serve as long as they don't have to suffer any loss. Soon as they suffer loss, they out. What Yahshua said? He said, there are some that they only follow me because they serve for the natural meat. He said, man, y'all just coming to eat. He said, y'all ain't coming for the real word. And he knew exactly who they were. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 36. And looking upon Yahshua as he walked, he says, Behold the Lamb of Elohim. And the two disciples heard him speak, and they followed Yahshua. Then Yahshua turned and saw them following, and said unto them, What seek you? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to say, being interpreted, Master, where dwelleth you? He says unto them, Come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. One of the two which heard Yohanan speak and followed him was Andrew, Simeon Peter's brother. He first findeth his own brother Simeon, and says unto him, We have found a Messiah, which is being interpreted, the Anointed One. And he brought him to Yahshua, and when Yahshua beheld him, he said, You are Simeon the son of Jonah. You shall be called Cephas, which is by interpretation a stone.
Mm-hmm.
The day following Yahshua would go forth into Galilee and finds Philip and says unto him, Follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Cephas. Philip finds Nathanael and says unto him, We have found him, of whom Moshe in the law and the prophets did write.
Okay, hold on. Verse 45. Philip finds Nathanael and says unto him, We have found him, of whom Moshe in the law and the prophets did write. Yeah, we got all kind of Old Testament Hebrews talking about, saying what Messiah. I myself, I didn't know there was a term, and I don't think the brother meant it, condescendingly. But when I talked to another Hebrew brother, and he asked me, he said, "Oh, you a two-booker?" I said, "Hold on, bro, you can't be talking about what I do with my bookers. I don't know what the hell is a two-booker." He said, "You a two-booker?" I said, "Oh, you mean Old Testament and New Testament?" I said, "Oh, well, I guess by your, thing, I guess I'm a two-booker." I said, "Oh, so you a one-booker?" And he said, "Yeah, he was a one-booker." I said, "Well, I didn't know that was how we was being, divided. I didn't know." Another click. I didn't know I was a two-booker. I guess I need to, you know what I'm saying, get me a shirt that say two-booker, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I ain't know. Learned something new that day. Go ahead.
Of whom Moshe in the law and the prophets did write, Yahshua of Nazareth, the son of Yosef. And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? And see, that's us. Can any good thing come out of Decatur? Don't tell me you got nobody you listening to come out of Decatur. Absolutely not. I am definitely not going there. You talking about Decatur, Georgia? Maybe Decatur, Illinois, maybe, but not Decatur, Georgia. Absolutely not. Right. Go ahead.
Philip says unto him, Come and see. Yahshua saw Nathanael coming to him, and says of him, Behold an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile.
I'm sorry. So, once again, Yahshua is an Israelite. Now, why is it that the entire Christian world wants you to believe otherwise? They need to defame the word of Israelite, and what they like to keep putting in front of it, black Hebrew Israelite. And they say that word like, you know what I'm saying? The ones that keep doing black Hebrew Israelite. They say the Israelite word soft, but they keep pushing that black Hebrew. I ain't no black Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I don't know what a black Hebrew Israelite is. But see, this is their way to put some kind of negative connotation on an Israelite. But Saul said he was an Israelite. He said Yahshua was an Israelite. These people are saying Yahshua is an Israelite. Yet, the powers that be are trying to make a negative connotation on the term Israelite. Now, who else would do something like that? Maybe Satan? Right. Go ahead, bro.
Nathanael says unto him, Whence knoweth you me? Yahshua answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called you, when you was under the fig tree, I saw you. Nathanael answered and says unto him, Rabbi, you are the son of Elohim. You are the king of Israel.
Uh-huh.
Yahshua
Said before that Philip called you, when you was under the fig tree, I saw you. That's all it took for him. Go ahead.
Yahshua answered and said unto him, Because I said unto you, I saw you under the fig tree, believe you?
Right. Because it don't take a whole lot for true believers to believe. It's already in their heart. But when you get a non-believer, they question everything. This man, you believe just because I told you I saw you under the fig tree? Then go among some others and look at how many questions, how they question him. See, we those people that will see a miracle and still question after the miracle. We walk through the wall of water and then still question the man who paused the water. The man's face glow. We still question the glowing dude. That's us. So while we jumping up and down about being Israel, make sure you put that part in there too. That we question things we ain't got no business questioning. Because see, a whole lot of that is in your book. But rather than us going and seeking some things out of the depth of the book, we'll just sit down and question. Go ahead.
You know, even with the situation, he's the same one that said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? But at the same token, he didn't have that so embedded in his heart that it blinded him when he got in front of the Mashiach.
Oh, brother, you just said a multitude then. Because see, once we have those preconceived notions, it's hard for us to come up out of that. See? And that's where Yahweh dwells at right there. See? Are you going to allow him to give you a renewed mind in the spirit? Are you going to keep dealing with things how you've always dealt with things, and you're going to still think things the same way you've always have thought of things? Man, right off the rip when I got in this word, and there were things that had to be rearranged in my head, it was a little difficult. I had already stopped eating pork. That didn't bother me. When they told me I couldn't eat shrimp and crab leg, oh man, they had to bring a spiritual exorcist in there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do too well. You know what I'm saying? I was into the scrimps. Oh my God. And the crab leg, man, I used to get them, boy. That's how you could tell when it was payday. Because I'd have crab legs and come home with some wine, boy. I'd be dancing on the way to the house, boy. Have me a sack full of abominations. What? I ain't know. We finna have some gumbo right after here. That's kosher gumbo. Ain't no scrimps in there. But see, when you have it programmed in your brain that that's the only way that it can be done, then that's the only thing you're able to deal with. So you think that it always have to be done that way. Once again, you've limited your Elohim.
It ain't gonna be good if you ain't got that abomination in there. Abomination tastes wonderful.
All right. Go ahead, bro.
You shall see greater things than these.
You shall see greater things than these. But isn't it a wonderful thing to not need to see the greater things than these? You need to see those to believe. Go ahead.
And he says unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter you shall see heaven open, and the angels of Elohim ascending and descending upon the Son of Man.
Right. And if we pass out over these little things, we are definitely going to have a problem if we start seeing angels come up and down, in and out of the earth and heaven. We are going to have some serious issues. Let's go to Revelation chapter 5. As they were going over the thing about the what was that, Yellowstone or whatever that is, where the caldera is, they were talking about if that thing goes off, it's going to change the entire planet. And when they backed up from it, and you see just how huge it is, we're talking about something that's like 40 miles wide. If this baby blow, man, it's a done deal. Everything is about to change. First of all, America's probably going to get split in half by that alone. It's just going to be a straight division in between the east and west coast. And half of it may not stay above water. Now you wonder, you understand what some of their military exercises are about. They're practicing for if that thing go, they may lose 1/3 of their entire country. Gone. And the rest is going to have serious problems. And we just go on every day, business as usual. Revelation chapter 5, and let's read verses 1 through 14.
And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor in the earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders says unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
Okay, so his role, one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. 7 seals is judgment. So it might sound condescending when you say it, but if you say merit judgment, that's right. That's his job. So while they out having a good time and passing out gifts, his job is to loose the 7 seals, which brings forth judgment. You want a present? That's going to be present right there. Put a bow on that judgment. And people be ticked off if that's what you gave them for Christmas.
What you gave? Some judgment. There you go. There you go. Merry Christmas. There you go. Happy judgment to you.
Right. Go ahead.
And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain.
Lamb as it had been slain. First trip. Go ahead.
Having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Elohim.
The 7 spirits that we read about in Isaiah. See? So they can't go and show you that this so-called entity of the Old Testament had all 7 spirits. Go ahead.
Which are the 7 spirits of Elohim sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne.
Okay, stop. Okay. All these same Christmas, you need to put all of these things together. All of the people who are getting ready to celebrate their Christmas, Jesus is the reason for their season. He's the reason for everything. He's the Father, he's the Son, he's the Holy Spirit. He everything. All right. Matter of fact, when they get something, they say, "Thank you, Jesus." They never thank the Father. Okay. All right. Verse 5. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals. All right, this Yahshua. All right. Verse 7. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat on the throne. It's 2 different people. Read, man.
And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, You are worthy to take the book and to open the 7 seals thereof, for you was slain, and have redeemed us to Elohim by your blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
And they sung a new song, saying, You are worthy to take the book and to open the seals, for you were slain. So he earned the right by his previous service. See, we're so busy trying to get something now. You need some previous service to get something now. See, we're trying to work now and receive now. That's why you ain't getting nothing. You ain't got no previous service. So you got to have service in continuance. See, we do something on Monday, And we showing up to the bank on Tuesday. The heathen don't even pay you that quick. He earned the right to do this from some stuff that he did 2,000 years prior. Go ahead.
And has made us unto our Elohim kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast, and the elders. And the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000s, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power, and riches, and wisdom, and strength, and honor, and glory, and blessing.
Worthy is he to receive all of these things. He earned it. He had to come and die for his creation. Let us make man, not let me make man. Go ahead.
And every creature which is in heaven, and on the earth, and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, Blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sits upon the throne, and unto the Lamb forever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshiped him that lives forever and ever.
Right. And when we look at these things, you see man is trying their best to go into outer space. They trying to run from judgment. So they want to go to the moon. They want to go to another planet. They figure, you know, hey, the judgment is for this earth. So if we can get to Mars, we're safe. Do you understand? You know, I was looking at something not too long ago, and it was talking about that man knows more about what's on the moon and what's on Mars than we know about what's in the water. We don't know what's under there. But everybody all over the place, that's us right there, all over the place. We don't know what's right under our feet. They have no idea what's under there. They can't go but so far. And every now and then, something come up, and they be like, what was that? And then they go right back down under there, and they'll never find it again. They don't know what's under there. They don't have, with all of this great technology, they can go out of space, but can't go but so far in that water. So the whole time we looking for something, what if it's already here? And everybody looking that way, and they come up. I think they about to come. Right. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Revelation chapter 19.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 1. And after these things I heard a great voice of much people in heaven, saying, Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and honor and power unto the Adonai, our Elohim.
Right. And you hear that same thing on Sunday morning, and they say, names don't matter. And right after that, they'll say, Hallelujah. So what are you saying? They praising Yah and don't even know it. They don't have a clue. Go ahead.
For true and righteous are his judgments.
Once again, we back to righteous judgment. So while they partying and passing out gifts, they are bringing forth righteous judgment. Go ahead.
For he has judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and has avenged the blood of his servants at her hand.
Right. You have this kingdom of the Euro Gentiles, which has spread Christianity all over the earth. And they went warring to spread it. And we'll try to present you as a bunch of angry Hebrew Israelites, and they've been killing, raping, and stealing all over the earth. It's people that are Christians don't even know how they became Christian.
I just woke up one day and I was a Methodist.
Right. Convert or die. That's how they became it. But somehow that story don't get told on the 6 o'clock news. They don't tell you how whole lands of people became Christians. It's something about having about 100,000 of your people dead in the middle of the street that make you want to just go ahead and convert. But they present you as being the aggressive people because they kill with a smile. Go ahead.
And again they said, Hallelujah. And her smoke rose up forever and ever. And the 24 elders and the 4 beasts fell down and worshipped Elohim that sat on the throne, saying, Amen, Hallelujah.
And the 24 elders and the 4 beasts fell down and worshipped Elohim that sat on the throne. See, some people still putting Jesus in all these places. Remember now, one went and got the book out the hand of somebody who was on the throne. He didn't say he was on the throne. So he got the book from him when he was on the throne. See, these folks that's finna pass out presents, they putting him in all those places. He in heaven saying, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. Then he on the earth and he the son. So he was like, this is myself in whom I'm well pleased because I'm pleased in myself. Hey, God, how you doing? Hey, I am God. Hey, I'm fine. Now, he on the throne, he hands himself the book, and he receives the book at the same time. Go ahead, bro.
You know, Yeshua himself even says, the words I speak are not mine.
Exactly.
But he who sent.
Right. They are my Father's words. But see, this is where the spirit of knowledge has to deal with some things here. They're going to make him everything. He got the book and received the book. He took the book from him that sat on the throne, but he was the one that was on the throne. But they want to tell you something wrong with you. That don't make no sense. It does not go according to what's written. So you're going to deal with what you think, feel, and believe, or you're going to deal with what's written? Go ahead.
And a voice came out of the throne, saying, Praise our Elohim, all you his servants, and you that fear him, both small and great. And I heard,
You that fear him. See, we got many that got knowledge and understanding, but they don't have no fear. Because when it come down to doing something, they're going to do exactly what they want to do. Yahweh word say one thing, they're going to do something else. They don't have no fear of Yahweh. They got knowledge, though. Knowledge ain't going to get you in. If you ain't got but one thing, the one thing you want is fear. If you don't have no understanding whatsoever, the one thing you want is enough fear. To say, I might not understand everything, but I know I'm not going to do that right there. Go ahead.
And I heard, as it were, the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of mighty thunderings, saying, Hallelujah, for the Adonai Elohim omnipotent reigns. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready.
His wife has made herself ready. Israel got to get ready. He is likened the kingdom of heaven as a bridegroom going to marry the 10 virgins, but then he pauses so that he can prove that 5 of them foolish. But the foolish virgin look just like the wise virgin. Everybody in their room looked the same until something happened. Everybody on the same ground until something happened. All the foolish virgins and the wise virgins looked exactly the same until it got dark. Then it was very apparent. Some of them had oil, which is a symbol of the Spirit, and others did not. And what happened when it got dark? The ones who did not have any Spirit tried to borrow the Spirit of those who had it. Darkness can be the best thing that ever happened to you. Because you get to see who that is that come at your door.
You got in the spirit left over.
Hell no, you ain't getting my spirit. I ain't giving that away. You better go with whatever they sell spirit at, because you ain't getting this. What happens if I can't get in? Then I'm supposed to explain to him?
Well, I had spirit, Yahshua, but I was trying to help Keith in them. And then...
Nah, that's not going to happen. Go ahead.
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he says unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And he says unto me, These are the true sayings of Elohim.
It says, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper. But remember what he said about the marriage supper. He said, go out and invite those. But they said,
I got other stuff to do. I really don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I got to tend to my own stuff.
and Yahweh saw that it was hypocrisy. So one thing he said about the Pharisees, he said they strain at a net and swallow a camel. You know how backwards you got to be to strain at a net and swallow a camel? And what is that? That we put all our time and energy on all the wrong things. We'll go into all of this sometimes of researching every bit of what's in food and not think about the foulness of what came out of our mouth. The word said not that which goes in the mouth defiles the man, but that which comes out of it. Now we'll go in there and we'll be researching enzymes. We'll research all kind of, look, this is a microorganism of such and such. Did you pray over it? Well, shut up then. You go in restaurants, you don't know what the hell they doing back there. You don't know who clean and who unclean. Did you go back there and have period check?
Excuse me, how you doing? I just want to have a list of who all on their period back here. Because I don't want them making my food.
Did you do that? Did you do that? Because I don't remember seeing now one of y'all have period check the last time you went to a restaurant. Right. But we'll strain out a net and swallow a camel. Read, brother.
And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See you do it not. I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren that have the testimony of Yahshua. Worship Elohim, for the testimony of Yahshua is the spirit of prophecy. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Elohim.
And that white linen, which is the righteousness of saints, gonna turn blood red for the job that he has to do in bringing forth righteous judgment. So you go drive down the street and you see all these cute little nativity scenes, and they got little baby Jesus. Oh, look, he's so cute. Look at the little baby. Oh, he's so cute. I ain't went by one yet and seen a bloody murderous event. That's what I should put out in the front of my yard. Find me some lights that light up bloody judgment. Merry judgment, my people. They'll swear I was wrong. Go ahead, brother.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword.
What come out of his mouth?
Sharp sword.
Okay, so judgment proceeds out of his mouth. So there's power then in what comes out of his mouth. Yet when he was as a lamb being slain, he said nothing. Well, no power in those words. There's power in the words that come from a lion. A lion roar, we're so used to seeing that on TV. But a lion roar, and you might have to get your clean underpants out of the glove compartment. Because you might soil those. I don't think you understand how strong that roar is. We don't need him talking as a lamb. But when that lion get to talking, everybody gonna hear it. Go ahead.
That with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treads the winepress of fierceness and wrath of the Almighty El. And he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Yahweh of Yahweh.
Yahweh of Adonai. Go ahead.
Yahweh of Adonai, pardon me. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together onto the supper of the great Elohim.
Right. All the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, all these birds, come and get ready for a feast. Because it's going to be a lot of dead people on the earth and they will not be buried. So y'all come and eat them. The same way we used to get hung on trees and they would leave the corpse hanging on the branches. And then the birds would come and pick their flesh. Yahweh said, my turn. My turn. Go ahead.
That you may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast, and the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army.
Understand? The same ones who are sitting here talking about Merry Christmas are the same ones who's going to gather together to war against the one sitting on the horse. They ready to make war against Yahshua. See, we think this is a game. No, man. The lines are being drawn as to which side you're going to be on. There's an upcoming war. Do you know what side you're going to be on? Because all these people are being wooed by their feelings to be on one side. And do we turn around and let our feelings pick us the wrong side? Because you can't tell these people that they're doing something wrong. They feel it in their heart that they're doing the right thing. And they've been in war against Yahshua. First of all, because they've been given an image of a dude who looked like Joel Osteen. So when this man show up on this horse, who looked like some Kish-looking dude, they're going to automatically be offended. What did he say? He says, when he drank wine, he said, I shall not drink this with you until I drink it new with you in the kingdom. So what is that? He has entered into a Nazarite vow. Nazarite don't cut his hair. So now you got this man with long locks and a long beard, and he black. Oh, I'm sorry, black Hebrew Israelite. Okay, so now he looks pretty aggressive. Okay, he don't look like Joel Osteen. So they automatically go in gear. We got to kill him. And this is some of the nicest, loving people that you ever wanted to meet on the earth. But they're going to get together to try to kill him because they've already been given an image that does not fit what's in this book. Think about it. When you watch the news, they tell you that somebody has committed a crime. And then they give you a picture of what the person looks like who committed the crime. They say, be on the lookout. Pookie Johnson lurks. So then what happens? Every time you go to your car, you looking.
Is Pookie out there?
Who you looking for? You looking for the image that they showed you because they said this is what the criminal looks like. Well, they also gave you an image of what Christ looked like. And they've been doing this for eons. So that's the image that everybody's looking for. And when he does not look like that, they are going to go to war. And they're going to war against the wrong entity. But you can't tell them that. The last thing you can tell somebody is to go against what they got in their heart. Because we got this convenient lie that we tell.
God knows my heart.
Yeah, he know that it's wicked. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast.
Stop. The beast was taken, with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. Hold on. We those people who like to seek out the signs. And now at this point comes a deceiver. Now, we had a problem believing after seeing certain miracles be performed. We already had this problem, all right? This is a long time problem with Israel, okay? You do a miracle, we still got disbelief right after the miracle, okay? This us. Now, you go through all this time, all this tribulation, and now here comes a deceiver who can perform miracles. Man, this thing is about to get interesting. And instead of getting our bonuses ready, we're still doing all the wrong things. It said that if it were possible, it shall deceive, the very elect shall be deceived. If it were possible. That's how convincing this false miracle worker is going to be. And you have to look at some of the things that we've been deceived against in the past. We got deceived because somebody did the right song and dance. And we was deceived. What we gonna do if somebody can really raise something out the dead? What we gonna do when somebody make fire shoot out the sky? And we've been deceived by the smallest of things. What you gonna do when a deceiver can walk on water? We're gonna see who believe in a minute. Go ahead, brother.
And them that worshipped his image, these both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth.
Once again, the sword that proceeds out of his mouth is the words that's written in this book. They are being judged by what's written. That's why the words come out. They are swords that come out of his mouth. It's the same word that he's giving you. So it ain't going to be some word that you didn't understand. You understood. Thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not do that. That's the sword that's going to proceed out of his mouth. Go ahead.
And all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
So we need to understand that if we allow Yahweh to give us a renewed mind in the spirit, there are certain things that we should be able to start seeing and look at totally different. I remember a time when I used to drive around and look at the Christmas lights.
So, oh my goodness, oh, that's so pretty.
Now I drive by, I say, look at them worship Satan. Look at that. But they don't know no better. There's some that know what they're doing and others, they just think they're worshiping God. Because Lucifer is a great deceiver. But if we've been blessed with the spirit of knowledge, how is it that we are still being deceived? That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.